Hey guys, it's me, the classic narrator. I finally escaped the bedrock. Did you miss me, sub? Wait a minute. Oh, great. Now I've been imprisoned by Herobrine, and it says it won't let me out until Subs World hits 500,000 subscribers. That's an insane goal. You guys keep working on it. But in the meantime, I'm going to execute my escape plan. It's probably gonna take like 10 days, but I promise you, I'll make it home.
Ruins, buildings, and mysterious houses appear all across Minecraft. They can be great to explore, but after a while, exploring the same structures becomes repetitive. We're pretty sure that Mojang are planning to add some more pretty soon. So for now, we're investigating 10 generated structures that should be in Minecraft 1.15. From areas owned by dangerous new mobs to ancient structures and event-based spawning, there's a lot to cover as always, so let's jump into it. Number 1. Ruined Castles. There has to be some semblance of medieval life out there, right? If any kingdoms of old were lucky enough to survive, we could come across some ruined castles. These fortified structures would have large but heavily damaged walls, with moss and vines overgrowing throughout. The central castle would also be in ruin. Adventuring inside, however, may pose useful, as you could find an armory with chainmail-laced armor stands and a lord's chamber that could contain some gold. Number 2. Pharaoh Pyramids. Out in the desert, the game is missing a vital and iconic structure, the pyramids. These would be towering masses of patterned sandstone, but players should enter at their own peril. Within the pyramid is an expanding maze of corridors and passageways, all laced with booby traps. All it takes is setting one off for the entire place to begin flooding with lava and sand to fall from the ceiling. You best be quick to find those loot-filled tombs, as husks spawn to defend their long-held treasures. You may be able to fend them off long enough to grab a treasure or two, just make sure it isn't cursed, or being protected by the new boss, the Pharaoh. Oh, just imagine! Number 3. Village Bee Farms. Bees are cute and new, so why not add a structure just for them? Besides, the 1.15 update trailer did show villagers with a lot of honey after all. Villages have various segments that can spawn, and we think there should be a beekeeper's farm that spawns just for those adorable little winged critters. Naturally, they would appear with some hives and honeycomb piles scattered around. Barrels would also be piled up, drizzling glazed honey. Beekeepers would of course have to be an entirely new NPC profession, but they'd get a nice little beekeeping helmet, so that's cool. Wanna be cool too? Why not subscribe to the channel? Sub appreciates you guys ever so much. Number 4. Warlock and Wizard Towers. Think witches are crazy? You haven't seen the half of it. At the peaks of extreme hills or deep within swampy areas, large towering structures will appear. These wizard towers would have multiple levels, with an enchantment table and brewing stand readily available. Chests here would also contain rare loot, sometimes potion ingredients, other times enchanted books. Perhaps one day even magic spells could appear in the game. One thing you should look out for above all else, however, is the color of the spire, as blue means wizard, but red means warlocks. Warlocks can be made by zapping an evoker with lightning, while wizards can be made by zapping a brewmaster villager. These new NPCs are opposing factions, and if two spawned close together, they would battle. However, witches will cohabitate with either. Warlocks will also attack you if you go near, spawning red, fiery versions of Vexes to attack. Number 5. Crashed airships. What if there are other lands out there? Other continents, even civilizations? Perhaps they've explored here before, but ran into a few issues of their own. As well as sunken ships, we feel like you should be able to find crashed airships across the land too. These would be completely random and quite rare, with the balloon's wool displaying a pattern specific to whichever nation this passing balloon was from. The chest would always contain a compass, showing how they found their way. But did they run into a storm? Why did they crash? Well, it's always best to leave a little bit of mystery in the game. Number 6. Haunted Houses. From Herobrine to spooky totems of undying, even zombies, there's definitely something going on with Minecraft's afterlife, and I think some structures should explore this more. A haunted house would appear in either roofed forests or taiga biomes, isolated and completely cut off from the rest of the world. The house would even be surrounded by cobwebs. That's not all. This region is completely infested with invisible ghosts that would attack you for trespassing on their grounds. If you dare venture inside the house, doors and chests will open and close on their own, paintings will randomly swap, and furnaces will even start burning though nothing is inside. Ooh! These entity effects would also remain if you were to build your own house on the land, meaning the entire area would be permanently cursed, unless some sort of spell is used or the source of the disturbance is found. Number 7. Graveyards. Staying on the topic of the dead, the Illager-Villager War has been raging for a while now. There are sure to be casualties in the hundreds. It would only be fitting if the fallen were laid to rest somewhere. Graveyards would appear near Illager outposts. Each would contain gravestones with specific death messages. Now sub, you could just rob the graves and make away with some bones and other valuables, but that would also mean getting attacked by zombie villagers risen from the dead by their restless souls. Or you could try to avenge them, and by fending off the Illagers and taking down the outposts once and for all, you may even be rewarded with some experience by each of the graves. Like this video if you think Sub has done a good job fighting for the dead. Master of Avenging! Number 8. Ancient Machinery. What about if certain structures only started appearing once the world met a certain condition? The Wither being defeated, for example. One thing players complain all too much about are all the uncraftable items in the game, one of the biggest being command blocks. After defeating the Wither, what if this opened the doors to ancient machinery, broken and rusting, causing them to spawn across the map? These would be rare, but the broken metallic structures could be harvested, with redstone scattered around and a single command block lying inside. These structures would open the door to all sorts of incredible gameplay content while still keeping players in survival. Consider them the key to non-creative creative mode. Number 9. Meteor Craters. So we just saw the reward structure for beating the Wither, but what about before it? Perhaps players should be directed towards the Wither battle, warned of its destructive nature. This structure will begin to appear after the Ender Dragon is killed, foreshadowing the end times. Meteor craters, varying in size, will appear, turning anything within radius to netherrack, smoking magma, and soul sand. Even wither and meteorite blocks will begin to appear. Venturing close will cause scattered wither skulls to rise up and fight you, providing you with all the materials you need to summon the demonic leader of the corruption and end it once and for all. Number 10. Snowy Workshops. You know, Sub, the snowier regions of Minecraft don't really have any structures at all, not even igloos, so I think that these festive structures should start to appear deep in snow biomes. The small wooden cabins would be decorated with a few lanterns. Inside, a player could find a toy-making room with various conveyor belts and workstations, as well as a nice laid-out table with a fully cooked chicken, carrots, and all. I wonder who lives here? These rooms would obviously have some toy boxes too, allowing you to get your hands on some fireworks, colored dyes, and even an enchantment table. We also think this would be a great excuse to add some much-needed toy items into the game. Imagine a yo-yo or a bouncy ball. Well, more like a cube. 10 awesome and mysterious generated structures that should show up in a future update. You think they're great ideas, so I'm sure they would fit perfectly in the game, alongside all the other great structures we already have. Which was your favorite structure from today's video? Let us know in the comments.